Okay everyone, welcome back. Now, the next video, building on all these fantastic skills you're learning, is we're going to learn how to put this together, especially the shapes, to create an object. Now, in the S1 sketching booklet, you'll recognise that. We have done a number of objects that we've learned to sketch, so we've done these ones. The tri-square, stool, the little digital device, a TV, etc. And on the more challenging ones, we're into objects with round shapes, so the likes of this little buggy, very similar to the buggy you're going to make in first year, and a little kind of radio type device with speakers, a dial for adjusting the stations, and sound buttons, etc., and a little aerial. So we're going to have a go making these, and they are going to look like um, this. If you look down here quite carefully, you can see, hopefully, this looks way more impressive than your pencil sketches. But just like I said before, what is important is to recognise that you need a PC and you need software to do computer drawing. All of that can be quite expensive compared to pencil and paper especially. But you can get the Affinity software for an iPad, for those that have iPads at home, and really go to town, and there's tons of videos on YouTube for how to develop your skills. So let's have a go. What shall we start? We'll start with the buggy. And what we need to do when we begin is draw the basic shape of the buggy. So I'm going to go for a rectangle and stretch it out. It's purple at the moment, as you can see, and there is an outline. If I deselect and come off that, you can see there's a dark outline. We don't want that because no object that we ever buy has a dark outline. So I'm going to select it, go to stroke, and take the line width down to 0. Also the colour of the line, instead of the inside line, I'm going to select the line colour and give it no fill, fill none. You see how it's changed up there. So there's my shape, but the buggy's angled. How do we change shape so that we can adjust the angle? You take any shape, and if you go to node tool, normally you were able to adjust some of these things. So if you take that, it's got all these adjusters. But this one, it doesn't. So nothing actually happens. So what we need to do is we go along the top and we look for where it says convert to curves. So I select that, and now the shape, I can adjust each individual one. If I want to keep it perfectly horizontal, I hold the shift key down at the same time. And there's the top of the buggy. But now we've got a problem. We should have a bit that comes up there. But it's dead simple. You can click anywhere on here, like that, and add a new line. And if I hold the shift key down again, I'll bring it in line with where I drew it. And I think that looks quite good. I'm happy with that. There's my main shape for my buggy. Now what I need is to make it 3D. So I go to my effects, layer effects. So you have to be on layers to get the effects, or you can go up to layer at the top and get layer effects. Drag that over so that we can see this, and we're going for 3D. Click that and play around with the settings till you think, yeah, that's looking good. Bring my highlight over to that side there, so the light's coming from the top left, and then the side that doesn't get the light is going to be that bit there. I'm going to actually make the radius even greater. So this is very rounded, this object. There we go. Okay. Close that, and now what I want is my wheels. And the wheels have got an inner and an outer. Just like a real car, you've got the tyre that sits on top of the wheel. So let's get the wheel done first. So I go to my ellipse tool, and I'm going to do a little bit for the wheel. It stays the same colour as the previous one, obviously, and I think that's about a good enough size. I need to make it the colour that I want it to be, and I'm going to go for a kind of a grey, kind of silvery alloy. And now what I want to do is do the outer black rim. But before I do, in fact, I'm going to make this 3D as well. So I'm selecting it, I go to my effects, and I go to 3D, zoom in a little bit, let's see what we've got, drag that to over there, increase the radius just a touch, there we go, and that's already looking 3D, I quite like that. Is there anything else I can play around with? Reduce the shininess a little bit, that's alright. Specular, what does that do again? Nothing much. Right, I'm going to stick with that and close it. Now I need the tire. Let's go to here, and you're looking for the donut tool. Drag that out, hold the shift key down, drag it so that it's over the top, and if you've got your snap tools on, then it will align it up. And what we want to do is, I'm going to zoom in, that's better, drag this adjuster so it's the same size as the circle, there we go, and I'm going to make the tire yeah, we're going to keep it like that. I think, is that big enough? That's the question. I would say no. I'd say my tire needs to be bigger. So I'm going to stretch it bigger, hold the shift key down again, move it till it's locked in the center, and drag this once more till it zoom in and locks on to about there. Perfect. The color of the tire is black. Let's face it, all tires that we buy are black. Go into my effects, go into my 3D, and spin that around to there, because we need to have the highlights always coming from the same direction. Tires are quite big rounded objects, so I'm going to really increase that up to about there. That is now looking superb, but they're not locked together. If I go to my select tool and move that about, that's not good. The snap tool helps bring them together, but I need to lock those two together. So I'm going to draw a box around the outside. If I draw the box here, I'm going to select that and move it. I don't want that to happen. So I'm coming outside of that, draw a box, and whatever's inside the box, I can group like so. And now that's one wheel. I can put it in place, zoom out a wee bit, hold my control key down, make sure I've got my snaps on so that they're perfectly in line, and that is the business. That looks great. I'm very pleased with that. If I was going to do something like the radio, then let me show you on the other sheet. Zoom into here. You can see how I use the same tools to create the dial. The top shape, if I need to ungroup this is all one shape. Select that, ungroup as well. Deselect, come on here. See, look, that's just a full circle, and I've placed it behind using the to the front and to the back tools. I could, if I wanted to, crop that to the right size. So if I had it at the front and I went to crop over here, I could just drag that up until it's right at the edge. But it's not quite right at the edge, is it? I need to bring it to there, and that's it right at the edge. And you'll notice now it adds a proper good shadow effect at the bottom. Okay, right, now then, how did I get these? These are just simple small rectangles. If I select that and I use the convert to curves tool, and if I go into nodes and I just adjusted it slightly, I used my gradient fill to go from dark grey to a medium light grey to a dark grey, and I really zoomed in so that I could play around with where the highlight was going to be. And once I had one done, I'm happy with it. I'm going to delete these ones and just show you. It's so simple, this. You get one done, you make a copy, drag it down, and then drag it across to where you want the next one. I'm going to do this like an imaginary line. Bring it down, get another one. Try to make the gap the same. Drag that across so you can see my line. I've maybe gone a touch far there. Move it up, make another copy, get the same gap, drag it across, and how effective is that? That looks superb. Okay, for the tri-square, you do ungroup all that, select that bit, that's just a diamond, and I think you can get a diamond in the tools. I did this straight and then I grouped the whole thing together and then I rotated it, just in case you think, why is he done it all at an angle? It doesn't look good. But there's the diamond tool. And then I filled in with the colours, and then I made it look 3D. And once you've done one and it's all finished, you copy and paste to create the other ones. Okay, so I want you to have a go doing a buggy, the radio, and a tri-square. See how you get on. You might only get one done, you might get two. And those of you that are pushing really well for a higher grade will get all three done. But I'd rather have one done to a really high standard than three rushed and looking not as good as they could be. So there's my buggy, looking good. I need to draw a box around it all, group it all together, and now the buggy all moves together. And I can make multiples, and I can have little ones, and so on. Okay, it's all down to you now. On you go.